again, and it's not a very nice night, so it always interferes.
Evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. Sarah's having a wee couple of technical problems with her camera, but you've got my face to look at to start with anyway, so I think that's a bit of a bonus, actually. But Sarah is there in the background. So tonight we're joined by Sean and June from East Sussex Paranormal and Research Group. I got that right, didn't I?
You got it right, spot on. Good evening, everybody.
Hiya.
So thanks for coming in, guys. Just see who's in the chat. We get Gillian, we get Andy, we get Steve, we get Nicole, and we get Eddie. I don't think I've missed anybody. If I've missed anybody, then I'm not ignoring you, honest. I think it's everybody. So anyway, guys, how are you? How are you both?
Not too bad. Bit bored because we can't go out and investigate. But...
Yeah, not too bad. As I said, yes, it's still a bit boring again because we're on to second lockdown. So some of the investigations that we did have planned again have been put on hold, like many others. So it's all going to be looking like to the new year now before we actually manage to get out and
do our stuff.
And as I said, we have cancelled quite a lot this year. So
well, they're not really cancelled, but they're kind of like put on the back burner.
Yeah. Well, we did sort of have them planned to go and stuff. And as I said, we got that one lockdown that lasted 6 months, and now just I went back to work for 5 weeks, and here I am again on another month lockdown. So
you're just not having any joy. Hey, Selena, Doctor. So no, I was saying hello to Selena. Selena's came in, so I was just saying hello to Selena. She's from Glasgow as well, same as me. So how did the two of you get started the paranormal? What kind of kicked it off for you?
You can start that one.
Well, I've actually been interested for about sort of 25 years when I sort of saw my first thing. Not that I was looking for it, I never believed in it or anything like that, and something happened. So, of course, I got quite interested. And then sort of over the last few years, I started investing in a lot of equipment and stuff. And then you joined my group and
just over a year.
Just a year and a half ago or so. And you didn't live too far from me. So we got chatting and that. And obviously, June was into the paranormal and stuff. So we met up and then we did our first live investigation last August. And it just went from there.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been into the paranormal since I was about 13, 14 years old, because that's when it all started for me. Just hearing things, seeing things, feeling things that you just can't explain. And I was just like, okay, this is not normal. But, I just never thought I'd be an investigator. So that's like a dream come true sort of thing. I mean, I love doing what we do.
Oh, absolutely.
Get to try out equipment and stuff like that, getting evidence and whatnot. But yeah, so it's been a long time for me, but new as a investigator though.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, we travel quite a few places. Actually, we've been on the road for 9 hours and away for a few days at times with things, and we really enjoy it. So
yeah, I think that's part of the fun as well. Getting out and about, seeing instead of sticking to the same area. We go to Edinburgh quite well. We used to go to Edinburgh for. I'm no way. I've got a fly in here, and it's annoying the hell out of me. And everyone in the chat as well. I'm not waving to anybody. It's just a sheer fucking fly. You know what I mean? So is that how you two met, through paranormal, basically?
Yeah, it's obviously it was through my group, East Sussex Paranormal and Research Group. So we met through there. So.
I did sort of like have another group, didn't I, that I'd taken over.
Don't tell me.
That I'd taken over from someone else, and John obviously joined, helped us get through a bit more and whatnot. It's now been unfortunately archived, but that's how we met really. We got chatting, and here we are now.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's been quite good as well because we have had the opportunity to meet up with a few other groups, and we've had the pleasure as well to do some investigations with a couple of other groups. And obviously, we've done True Crime Museum down here, and we were invited to a place in Portsmouth. I can't remember the name of the building now. The place, the museum.
Some theatre.
Groundlings Theatre. So we had the pleasure just before the first lockdown to get in and get that place done. So yeah, it's really, really good. And I think we're sort of aiming now for Gloucestershire. We've got a few things going on that way at some point after lockdown. So really looking forward to doing those.
I thought that's another good thing. We've only been doing this since the end of June, July. I mean, I've been into Paranormal for donkey's years, 25, 30 years, but we only started doing this about 5-6 months ago, and the amount of people we've met, through it is unbelievable. And we've made a lot of, yourselves included, obviously, the amount of good friends that we've made. It's we keep in contact daily, and it's like a family, it's like a kind of community sort of thing, and it's a good way to learn as well. I think sharing each other's experiences or points of view, even if we don't agree, we're not going to agree 100% of the time, but so it is.
We don't agree on each other.
I was going to come to that, a wee bit later on, because you're a couple, but I'll ask you now anyway. Then, do you have different views on the paranormal, or are you kind of the same train of thought, or
generally the same?
Yeah. I mean, there are times where we do tend to have a bit of a difference on it, sort of thing, and but we solve it out in the end. Don't we?
Even though I believe in it all, I've seen and everything else, I still sort of do like to try to debunk a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes it quite exciting as well. But there are some things that we've done and that you just can't debunk. With the pictures we got, the EVP. As I said, one of the lives we did there, we had the K2 go off at the same time, catch up with an EVP. We had a couple of mediums watching the live and other investigators that actually saw something at the same time. So certainly couldn't debunk that. So we've got a nice bit of evidence.
So much stuff has gone on that night. So much stuff has gone on that night.
I was watching a couple of your videos the last couple of days. I was watching one about I can never pronounce it, the debug box. Debug box.
Yeah.
I can never say. Sometimes in life you get words that you just cannot say. That's one of them. I was watching that one. You had the salt room, you had the candles, and inside it you found the string. I think you found the string, and it was a wee bits of jewellery.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to the bottom of that?
Not 100%. Obviously now, we've kept the box of all the stuff that's displayed in one of my cabinets that I have in my dining room. So we've sort of kept that as a momentum, really.
Yeah.
But as I say, it's the first one we ever done. Would I do another one? Probably not. No.
No. I was walking. You can see the 2 years. I think I've never done one. I don't know if I ever would consider doing one. But you were kind of wary of doing it. But what I did notice, it was about 9. In fact, I made a note of it. In fact, so I need to write things down there. I'll forget them. It's just about 9 minutes in. It was like kind of. Now I don't know if it was your breath or no. I know it was kind of like April time, so it might have been a wee bit cold. But after you opened the box, about 9 minutes in, there's a kind of white mist in front of you between you and the box. I don't know if you've noticed that or not.
Yeah, we did when we played it back and had a few comments on that, but it wasn't a cold evening because it was just sort of t-shirt.
It's quite still, wasn't it?
Very still night, no wind or anything. But yeah, we did sort of when we replayed it back on the big screen, we did notice that. So.
But then again, we did have some incense, didn't we, Graham, at that point?
Yeah, we did.
So it could have been the smoke from the incense.
I don't know if we lit them then. I think we did them afterwards. I can't quite remember on that, but I don't think we didn't do them when we opened the box. It was done afterwards.
I can't remember.
There was another bit.
A lot's happened since then.
There was another bit in it I noticed. It was about 12 minutes, just after 12 minutes in, it was like a white, very, very thin line shot across the screen. And at first, I'd watched a similar live a couple of weeks ago, and it turned out it was a girl's hair that had been blown in the wind. But obviously, I know they both use the short hair, so that kind of debunked the hair bit. And I noticed there was a kind of thin white line just kind of shot across the screen. Maybe nothing, I don't know. It's just sometimes I'll pick up these wee things on a video and, you know, I need to ask people about it. So I don't know if you've noticed that or not.
We did pick up a few different bits and pieces when we watched it back because we put it on the big screen and stuff. So, but as I say, all the lights from where we were, because we were quite high up, and then there's a big drop, and then you got the road, Ben. So there's no way car lights to where we did that would get in the way. But we just sort of look at it and couldn't sort of really work it out to.
But I did notice as well that one of the 3 candles that we had kept going out.
Yeah.
There was only one candle that kept going out, and it wasn't cold, it wasn't windy, it shouldn't have been going out. But, yeah.
Frankie's got a question for you. I'll just pop out at the bottom of the screen.
Have we done an investigation in Lewes?
No, I've been to Lewes many times. As I said, I'm not too far from Lewes. I can do that from about 40 minutes from my house, but no.
We haven't as yet.
As yet, no. But as I said, I'm sure that's another place there on our list.
Yeah, there's bound to be places there.
There is some good places there.
Andy's just to know her. Andy's one of your friends, and he's talking about the picture behind you on your wall. He's one of we call him a friend, but he takes time.
Oh, you mean that one? That's a skull. It's a massive skull.
He's trying to rip it out of me, basically. So what happened? Your first engagement. What the hell is an engagement? Investigation. What was that like? You know, the very first one you've done together.
I absolutely loved it. I mean, it was absolutely terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely terrifying. There was a massive time where I would not go back there at all. But at the same time, it was amazing. You know, it's mind blowing. For me, it was mind blowing because it's my first ever actual investigation, and to do it in a cemetery as well. I was like, oh wow, sort of thing. But yeah.
As I say, when we did
that's all right, Andy.
When we did the first investigation, we were a team of 3, but obviously we're 2 now, so we did do 3. There was 3 of us on that.
But we did work very well, though.
It did work well.
It's just certain points in the evening, in certain parts of that place, it wasn't a good vibe. It was on the borderline of pure evil. That's all I can describe it as. It was just pure evil. You know, very uneasy, and of course, it was my first time as lead investigator as well, so it's not just a case of keeping myself safe but keeping my colleagues safe as well. You know, it was because we did do 2 parts. The first part, obviously, we did film it and stuff, but the second part we went back with just a few bits of equipment, no filming and stuff like that. That's where it completely changed to where what the hell has just gone on, from being okay to like completely dark and really, really bad feeling. And yeah, it was just
yeah, I must admit it did change very, very quickly, because as I said, we sort of did about an hour and 20 minutes live stream, and as I said, we put a lot of equipment away, and just the 3 of us just went back. As I said, as June said, you know, no filming and that. We just wanted to use our, you know, see what we can pick up, use the sensors and stuff, and just had a couple of bits of equipment. As you say, the atmosphere had changed immensely. We were only out there for 15 minutes and then back in.
We had to go in, didn't we? It got to the point where I said, right, no, I'm calling it. We're getting the hell out of here now. It's getting too dangerous. I'm not liking the vibe. We are going. But then again, you know, because we have been back since. But we noticed that when we were there was what looked like a homeless guy. All 3 of us saw this person, and there was a bench there.
Right.
But the weird thing was, I was the only one that made eye contact with it, and I did not get a good vibe. It felt like it was you know, just weeping into my soul sort of thing. It was really, really scary. But we gone back there, and the bench is completely gone. There was no bench there in that area. It's completely overgrown. It's like it's been overgrown for years. And he's like, that wasn't like that when we came here.
That's
Just like, what the hell's going on?
that's
Yeah,
weird.
because I literally, I actually went back 2 weeks later because obviously where this bench was, it was an open path, it was clear. But I went back 2 weeks later and it had all overgrown by 7 or 8 foot. Well, that's totally impossible. So what we saw that night, and what I don't know.
But the scary thing is, all three of us saw the bench. All three of us saw that person.
Chesil Beach, whereabouts is Chesil Beach?
I don't know where Chesil Beach is.
I don't have a.
No, because Andy's just asking how far we are from Chesil Beach.
I'm not even sure where Chesil Beach is. But
No.
then again, I'm not, completely used to the surroundings at the moment. Even though I've been here a few months.
Mm.
But,
I've never ever heard it.
but
So-
we
so the
did
bench-
have to stage ourselves after this.
The bench was gone when you went back.
Yeah.
The
It
bench.
wasn't there.
The bench had gone and it had all overgrown where it was in the footpath there by about 7 or 8 foot. In 2 weeks, that doesn't happen.
No, not in 2 weeks. Maybe a few months. But no, no in 2 weeks. That's
Yeah.
Because I went back on my own and actually filmed. I filmed that bit to where it was, so you could see to where it was before, and then to how it was 2 weeks later. Yeah, very, very odd. Very odd. I can't explain that.
It's just scary the fact that all three of us saw that bench and that person, and we've gone back and it's not there and it's completely overgrown. We're like,
but it was there on the first live. Can't explain.
time shift cost.
Possibly.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. You could well be right.
Could be, yeah.
Because as I said, when I was up there 25 years ago, not on an investigation and that, time shift. I know exactly what I mean. This is why I got into the paranormal to what happened to me there. So that's why I'm interested in it all. That's why I've got into it. And as I say, we take it a lot more seriously now. Don't we? Enjoy it a lot more. Yeah. It's really great, and we just love to capture the evidence and be able to show people.
I mean, I do scare easily. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I do tend to scare easily, especially when he's around, because he likes to do practical jokes on me. But not in investigations, but any other day. But I forgot what I was going to say now. It can still be very, very scary, but at the same time, it could be amazing, and it's just all these different feelings all at once. And you're just like, wow. I love it.
Selena's got a question just about the bench. I'll go back to what you're saying. I'm quite fascinated with that bench now as well.
Yes, Selena. It was clear. It was right there in front of you.
It looked solid, didn't it?
Yeah, you couldn't miss it. I mean, what we saw, I'd have to dig that back out on the live where we walked up there, and
because that guy looked solid as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was completely solid. It's by the steps there. The one place that you can get up and down on that part. All three of us saw it. You couldn't mistake it. It was there. And just 2 weeks later, it wasn't. And as I said, it was overgrown by 7, 8 foot.
Yeah.
Can't explain.
We tried to explain
you do get, if you get a good bit of evidence, a good cat, whether it's a picture, a photograph or an EVP, you do get it's hard to explain the buzz that you do get. I might be wrong, but it's always like, to me, it's combined with excitement, but then you get excitement, but then you get doubt. You get excited and you caught something, but you think, well, as can I debunk this? The thoughts always go through your head. What's the kind of most exciting bit that you've caught, except for the bench?
Absolutely.
It's just,
As I say, I do like to debunk things and sort of find another rational explanation for it. But as I said, on some things it's impossible.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it exciting, even more exciting.
You get goosebumps and chills.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But
you do have to be careful as well, though.
aye, that's what I was going to. I was going to cover. Do you think the kind of paranormal's kind of more glamorized these days? By media and what have you, which encourages young ones to come in and when they don't know what they're doing, kind of thing. If you know what I mean.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But also, we've noticed that it's getting a lot more competitive as well, and it shouldn't be like that at all. If you're going to get into the paranormal, you have to always have your wits about you. Don't just jump in. Get to learn, the background and stuff like that. Always make sure you're at least with another person that you trust as well, because at the end of the day, you've got to watch each other's back. Don't ever do it on your own, because anything can happen. Anything can happen, and yeah, always have people with you. Learn how to use your equipment. Just take it easy. Take one step at a time. Don't just rushing at the deep end, because that's not going to get you anywhere. No. Especially, if it's your first time and you end up with something that's quite dark. You don't know how it's going to turn out, and you won't know what to do. So just take it slow. It's slow.
Exactly, that's the way I look at it. I think there's too many young ones these days maybe watch a couple of horror films or something and decide to, let's go for a walk up the graveyard and start shouting on spirits and what have you. Frankie's saying that Hastings has an immense amount of paranormal in the caves. True.
They do, yes.
Yes. We're actually, Frankie. I can walk down to the caves of my house in 5 minutes, and as I said, we've done the True Crime Museum, which is built in the old caves down there. We were supposed to have got Hastings Castle, which is again sits above the caves, a couple of weeks ago, but then lockdown had hit us. But yeah, we're literally 5 minutes away. I mean, if you are on the Sussex Paranormal group, you'll see a lot of pictures that we put up of the old town. We like to do a lot in black and white. There's so much history down there, and we're just so looking forward to getting out and doing a few of the other bits. There is a book actually called Haunted Hastings, which is out. So it's very interesting. If you ever get to see that, pick it up, have a read. It's great.
There is also one more thing that I will say about if anyone's interested in becoming a paranormal investigator, always, this is a must, have respect for the dead. And don't antagonize, because you wouldn't like it if, that was you, sort of thing. But yeah.
You seem to be answering all my question I was going to ask you, June. That's round one. You're answering all I was going to ask you about respect. How important do you think respect is to spirit? Frankie's the steepest carrier.
It's very important. It's wow.
That's right. We've got two of them. We've got one on the East Hill and one on the West Hill.
What's B&W?
Black and white.
Oh yeah, black and white pictures are amazing.
Yeah, we like to do the black and white pictures in the old town and that, because it suits the place, and it deserves that respect to have the black and white pictures.
Sometimes we do some in colour as well, but mostly black and white. Yeah. But yeah, the question about how important respect is, it's very important. Because you've got to think about it. You'd want to be respected as well. Treat them with the same respect as you would want.
I mean, Hastings is. I've never been to Hastings myself, but I can imagine it's totally steeped in history. Dating back hundreds of years. And no, I think there's loads of different locations you can go to. Just like the castles and like caves, but what about kind of more modern buildings? You were saying about the museum as well, but like schools and stuff like that. Is there anything kind of like that down there that's haunted?
sort of the old town, you don't really have any major schools down there. They're all sort of off the beaten track. You know, they're sort of further up this end of the town. But as I said, there's a lot of places in the old town. They've got the blue plaques outside. You used to read some of the histories, which you know, some of the houses in the old town have been converted into house now. But one of them used to be an old bank, and obviously there was murders done there back in the 18th century. We go to the Stag pub in the old town a lot, and that's that's when they did the renovations in that pub some years ago. Is when they uncovered the mummified cats that they found that were in the wall, and they're on display, original on display in the pub now. And they always say they have a lot of activity. So
a haunted pub,
and they even advertise it as a haunted pub. So a lot of history there. So
do you get that response if you know the history, names, location, stories?
Not always.
No, I mean, every investigation is different. You know, you can have all the history and the background of it. It's always different. It's never the same.
No, because as I said, we could go and do one place in the old town. We could do that 3 weeks on a trot and capture absolutely and get nothing at all. And then on the 4th week, you could get activity. But, I mean, it's always different. Every investigation that you do is different.
But I mean, like the old town itself in Hastings, the amount of times that even on the lockdown, we'll go down, we'll take some photos. You know, early hours of the morning where everyone's asleep in bed and whatnot, we'll go down there. Every single time we've been down there, the atmosphere, everything has been different.
Changes all the time.
Changes all the time. You'll never get the same bit every time. It's different every time. It's just like
vibe's different all the time down there.
It's not always a nice, pleasant vibe either, is it?
Not always.
No.
9 times out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, but then you just get those odd times where it's like, okay, it's not nice down here, sort of thing. Watch your back. But, yeah.
I was asking the chest flights really. I was saying about start again. I was asking about kind of modern locations because I'm thinking, next year we'll get kind of the rest of this year filled. But I'm toying with an idea of next year. You know, you go investigate. Everybody goes to like graveyards, castles, old ruins, that kind of thing. I'm trying to think. My idea next year, looking for modern places like office buildings, schools, communities. You know, places like that people wouldn't usually go to. Because one reason I'm trying to doing it is because it's different, and 2 is because where we live, we've got about 3 supposedly haunted locations. And that's it. We've got nothing here. You know, and obviously because of what's happening, we can't get into them anyway. So that's what I was asking, you know, down your end, if there's any kind of, you know, office building. You know, it's something different because I think, that, you know, the way the paranormal, that's just my opinion. I love going to graveyards. You know, I love going to cemeteries and sitting about and that. But I always think, you know, we need to try something different, bring something. Because I think, no offence to any other team, you know, there's a lot of teams do the same thing. And do you don't feel that gets a wee bit stale sometimes, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not talking yourself. I'm just talking about, you know, in general with teams and, like I say, you know, TV programs and stuff. I think it's I think it's a good idea, you know, to switch things up every now and then, sort of thing, do something completely different that you haven't done before, or where people don't usually do. It makes it even more interesting, doesn't it?
It does. You sort of saying different, unusual places. I mean, in Battle here, as I said again, for us, it's about 10, 12-minute drive. You've got a solicitor's building there. Once again, Battle's very old, a lot of history. And every time a new member joined the solicitors team, stuff kept going on in the offices and stuff. It's still there to this day. It still uses solicitors. It's very, very well known, but it's not the easiest place to sort of get the owners to let you come in and do. But I'm sure, you know, you could twist their arm a little bit.
That'd be awesome.
And there's a couple of other places because you're not far from the Battle of Hastings, the castle there. The battlegrounds are there from, what is it, William the Conqueror, wasn't it? You know, the Battle of Hastings, that's about 15 minutes away, the battle where it was all fought. So we've got a lot around here, a lot. We're really lucky, so.
I'm even more lucky since I've moved down here now. Hey.
Ed, just to leave you a wee question for Sarah. Ed, so we're want to do I've been in the Necropolis about 4 or 5 times in the past. We were wanting to try and do an investigation there, but because it was going on and then, doing other stuff, we're just not a chance. But it is on our to-do list, and we'll probably will do it as a live dog. Thanks for asking. No, the Necropolis, guys, it's a big cemetery in Edinburgh. No, Edinburgh. Glasgow. Glasgow. It's called. Sorry, Selena. Sorry. I'm from Glasgow as well. I can remember that, can you? Thanks, Jeremy. It's called City of the Dead. I've been in it a few times. And you get on, look up on Google. It's an absolutely fantastic place. It's like Glasgow's equivalent to Greyfriars, except it's about 10 times bigger than Greyfriars. So we're going to try and get in there, but we're not sure if it's locked or it's not locked up here. What's the kind of situation for you down there with the? No, obviously we don't talk about the thing, but we're getting into places. We've found we get quite a lot of no hassle, but trouble trying to get access to places. What likes the access in Hastings?
What do we get problem accessing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, years ago I have sort of gone to Hastings Castle. I mean, it is a big climb up the cliff and over the fence. So I have done that once, and then not realising security turned out they've got the old dogs and that. But luckily, just by hiding behind the post, I managed to get out without getting eaten.
We didn't know each other then.
Yeah, but there's a lot of places here which are. You on my phone?
Oh, sorry.
Jesus.
I thought you fell off your chair there. I thought you took a couple.
Yeah, I do have a habit of doing that.
So does Scott.
I done it a few weeks ago, and Chaos was in. We were on his live, and I was just at the weekend. He does a live a Saturday, Sunday. I'll drop you the link later on. And it's just a riot basically. And there was one week we were on it, and I can't remember we were laughing, but I was laughing that hard that I fell off the chair, and I caught my NDE. I fell about 2 feet. So that's what Andy's saying, just heading for an NDE like Scott. It's just one of these moments. You put your hand out to stop yourself, and you realise there's nothing there, that nothing's got, and you just go with it, and everybody's kind of laughing.
I've done that, haven't I?
Selena's saying.
Thing is, Scott, she did that on a live in Wigan, fell off the chair. Teacher to laugh too much, wouldn't it? Eh?
What's that? Oh, I missed that.
No, so I was saying in the Necropolis, we weren't sure whether it was locked or not, but Selena says she's for Glasgow, and she was saying it wasn't locked 2 months ago. So, that's handy. No, thanks very much, Phil. No, Sarah, you're not showing me that.
Sorry, Scott, you were saying?
No, Steve in the chat's asking Sarah to show you the video of me falling off the chair. But I'm just telling Sarah. You know what I mean?
That's definitely got to see. Yeah.
I was one of these.
Access down here.
So we get that a lot up here.
Access to places, so it's just...
Oh.
Wait till you see this.
That's right, it's the internet's
Oh.
thing.
Oh.
Love it. Oh dear.
I've actually saved it to my desktop. I've saved that video to my desktop, so it's so handy to just pull it up.
That was about a month ago that happened. Roughly about a month ago, and they're still ripping it to this day. Do you know what I mean? and you
Oh,
think
that,
he'd go.
that was on for a long time.
I must admit though, yeah, I've fallen off chairs and whatnot laughing so much, but I've not done it like that.
No, that's a classic one, Scott. That's classic. I like that.
Oh, it was so funny. Our cats just kind of look at me as if to say, "What are you doing?"
You're on your arse and there's nothing you can do about it at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But we've had a lot. I say there's nothing much up here. Well, so one day we sat and Googled haunted places near Ayrshire, because that's where else we are, and we got about 100 locations or something like that, and we spent a day or two just driving about in the car, you know, till we're going to go and have a look, and we were able to get into one. That was it, one. Well, I tell you, I could get it two, but the second one I had to kind of, it was shut, so I had to kind of over the fence, you know, to get some footage. But so that was literally 100. We get one location, and that's another issue we find up here. There's nowhere to go, and if you do find somewhere, it's getting into the place, and you know yourself it can be, you know, frustrating and what have you.
Oh, that's
So
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we do have quite a lot of access to stuff where you could just walk in at night and things like that. So we do have a mixture here. So there is quite a bit that we can do, and it's free as well. You can just go and adventure. But then there's other stuff here that you have to pay for. And as I say, there's some places here that you want to do, and as I said, you can't get access to it, and that's the frustrating bits, because the ones you can't get into are usually the better ones. Sort of,
and especially it's those sort of places where they advertise they're haunted, but won't let anyone investigate.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing.
mm-hmm.
What's the point of saying you're haunted? It's going to attract investigators, but you're not willing to let them investigate.
Exactly. I was just going to say,
their own, though.
why put it out there that your house is
equipment you like to use? Okay. Is that aimed at both of us? Mine has to be SB7 Spirit Box and the
What, full spectrum camera?
that's the one. I love that camera.
Yeah, I like the millimeter and a full spectrum camera. So,
and I also like to use my own sensors as well.
I'll tell you, you must be psychic, because I was going to ask you, you got all the gadgets out these days, technology with your meters and laser grid, everything. But do you not find that your senses are the best thing to pick up stuff?
absolutely.
Definitely.
See, I like to sort of have the equipment as well there, because that just sort of backs things up a bit more for you. So, and as I say, a lot of people out there, you know, like to see the flashing lights and this and that as well, you see. So,
but use your own senses as well. Get used to your own senses, your feelings, and you know, just tune in a bit more. Obviously, don't tune in too much, because then it can get overwhelming, and you know, you might not be able to control it as much. But yeah, it's just...
Have you ever went to a location and just, you know, before you've even reached it, had a kind of bad feeling, negative feeling, changed your mind about going?
Not really. Well, I haven't really.
as I said, we sort of gone up to the cemetery in Hastings there a few times, but there was a couple of times we were going to do it. We sort of got halfway there, and we just sort of had that feeling with it. You know what? It's probably not best to do that tonight.
Yeah, but that was because that was after we'd done the first investigation. Because when we did the investigation there, I didn't get any bad vibes straight away.
But sometimes you can go up there, and you're going to go up there, and you sort of get that feeling, don't you? So we decided not to do it. And there's other times we've got up there and we think, it doesn't feel too bad tonight. So we've gone in and we've done it. So, as I say, it changes all the time. You know, it's different. But we haven't sort of had one particular place as yet, have we, where we've gone out of our way to do that and got there and gone, no, we're not doing it. But I'm sure that will come in time. I'm sure that's going to happen to us at some point somewhere.
Well, it's bound to happen to me.
Absolutely.
But so that, to me, that's part of the paranormal. You know, it's that kind of, you get a kind of negative feeling, a kind of wary feeling, but you know, you still kind of want to go in and investigate, because you want to find out, you know, if you can find out what's causing that feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, well, How deep it is, will also determine whether like brave it and go in there or not. But that hasn't happened yet.
No, but I think it also depends as well to whether you're to who you're with and things like that. I mean, if you've got good people behind you and that, then yeah, you're going to go and brave it and do that. But if you're sort of unsure with a couple with them, you probably would be inclined not to. You know, I've known a couple of people who've done a bit of work for me before I met you here, and they just found it funny just to mess about on investigations and things like this and taunting that. Do you know what? Don't want people like you with me or with us.
But I mean, I think it would also depend as well. So if it was just the two of us, and so like one of us had like a really, really, really bad vibe, but the other one had a slightly bad vibe. We would then discuss it, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Whether or not we're gonna brave it, go in there, or whether we're just gonna like say no, we'll try it another time. For now, we're just gonna walk away. Yeah.
But I reckon 99.9% though, Scott, we'd certainly put our feet in and have a quick wander. But whether or not the investigation would take place
We'll be screaming out
depends.
to like two little kids
So,
running for our lives and screaming.
that's you two last time running off.
I was watching one of your videos as well. It was an investigation you were doing. You were outside a church. It was the night time. Sean, you had a big jacket on. You were all wrapped up. Must have been pretty cold. And you saying you suddenly got a bad feeling. You never said the name of the church, but you said, well, it's not an investigation. We're just having a wee chat or something like that. I don't know if you remember that one. But he says you got a bad feeling all of a sudden.
Wasn't that down in All Saints Church?
Could have been.
Yeah, more like All Saints. We haven't sort of investigated this. We've been down there a couple of times.
Yeah.
But obviously this one down All Saints Church, and that again has a lot of history. And this is back in the days with the smugglers, because the vicar, who run that church was helping the smugglers and all of this. He got caught back there. He got taken to the beach, which was not far from there. He got hung on the beach. He's buried in that church in an unmarked grave where no one knows. And the legend says that if you're lucky enough to see his apparition and follow him, you'd be a very, very rich person. Again, this is documented in the library down here and in the Haunted Book of Hastings.
But we haven't seen him yet.
But we haven't seen him. So, yeah.
So you should have
very old graves. They go back.
It's just weird because sometimes we go to like a graveyard or something like that. It changes. With Scott's
that's Andy. See what I mean about this falling off the chair thing? It just never goes away. Never goes away. This is a kid. See how I was saying earlier on that we've met a lot of good friends. What I should have said was we've met a lot of good friends, and then Andy. You added him on at the end.
Poor Andy. That's how
Andy knows what I'm talking about. So, how many's in your team? How many's in your group?
What, as investigators?
Yeah.
It's just the two of us now.
Just the two. Actually, I was watching another video. It was a red boxes. It was. I don't think it was yourself, June. I'm sure it was a female, and it was slowed right. The audio was slowed right down. There was a black circular box, red lights around it. It's on your Facebook. I was looking into the day.
I
don't know. We've done quite a few, so.
We've only ever had one other female investigator, didn't we? That was
yeah,
at the beginning.
It was three of us. Well, we actually did have four in theory, because the other one, she was from Dartford, that we were going to be working with.
Yeah.
So at one point, there would have been four of us in the team, but unfortunately, two of them we had to let go, for reasons.
Yeah.
So, and since then, we've sort of just been a little bit careful. We've sort of having somebody else come aboard with us, but
who we can trust.
But really, we'd like to become back another, a team of 3 or 4 now. because it makes it a lot easier if you're going out doing investigations and that, you know.
Especially if it's a big place.
Especially if it's a big place, at least you've got somebody filming it. It leaves a couple of you there to be able to concentrate on what you're doing and stuff. So,
and also if it's a big place as well, we can split up into 2 groups, can't we?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And it's so time consuming as well when you're using all your equipment and all your camcorders and stuff, is viewing everything back, especially when there's 2 of you. I mean, if you investigate for 3 hours and we're using
ages,
6 bits of equipment,
but I still love it.
That's 18 hours of footage to view, and then you've got to re-go over it. So,
Just
that
sure
3 hours becomes 36 hours. So, and it's quite a lot for just 2 people to do.
As I was, Sarah and I, we've only been doing this since July, June, July, whatever. And we loved it. Don't get me wrong, we love what we do, you know. But not an investigation for weeks just because of what's been going on then with childcare. You know, there's always something that kind of stops you getting out sometime. But we love what we do, but we didn't realise the amount of time that actually goes into it. You know, as you say, Sean,
yeah, a lot of time goes into it. You know,
there is a lot of time. There's a lot of travel as well.
Yeah.
Well, we've not done the furthest we've been so far is Edinburgh. We've no actually. Well, we have plans for next year. It was meant to happen this year, but obviously it's not going to happen now. Next year we're heading down to Pendle in Wales, Nottingham, and we're toying with the idea of coming over your end as well. I think Hastings would be a pretty good place to investigate. You know, and if you're in
I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Nah,
sorry, buddy.
Disappointed.
And you're only a short.
Won't be disappointed.
Well, see, I've been thinking about it coming over. And so we're going to Chepstow in Wales, and it's only a short drive there anyway, really, isn't it? You know, it's not far from Wales, so we can easily sort of jump over. So, but that's a frustrating thing. But time-wise, it does take up a lot of your time. But I think if you love doing something and you're willing to put the hours in, then you know it's all worthwhile. And obviously we've got people behind the scenes helping as well. Thanks very much, Selena. But you know, we say, I'm saying, Sarah and I, we don't do it because we get people behind the scenes helping us and what have you. And they've been an absolutely immense help to us, like Steve, Nicole, Gillian, you know, and Ed Chaos, his wife Missy as well. And it's good to have that kind of, that's what I was talking about. Thanks for coming in, Frankie. You take care and see you soon, buddy.
Bye.
What I was saying about the friendship, it's good to have that bond, you know. And I mean, be honest, we Sarah and I only met you last week. When did we video call you? Was it Sunday or something? Sunday or Monday last week?
Yeah, last week.
We phoned you.
Yeah. One of those two, yeah.
That's right.
And,
it's only about a week ago, yeah.
I think it's always good to meet genuine people in the paranormal, because there's a lot of, as you say, so there's a lot of drama goes on, you know, and it's how can you put it? It's unnecessary drama. You know, I don't see where the need for drama is in the paranormal. I think you have had your fair share of drama since you started.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely changed over the last couple of years. It's not always for the better. But as I say, we tend to just sort of keep ourselves to ourselves. So we will catch up with a few genuine groups and great people. We sort of know who the good ones are, and it's nice. And we do the video chats, and it's not. We'll even catch up, won't we? And sort of do investigations. I mean, we've got another group, hopefully at some point after lockdown, to catch up and do a few bits there in Gloucestershire. Some big places there as well. So we're sort of looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But as I said, it'd be really great at some point to catch up with both of you to do an investigation as well. So I mean,
Definitely.
you know, we're really sort of up for that.
Oh, we're up for it. We're certain, you know, as soon as possible, we're meeting up a team in Pendle and then one in Wales, so and Nottingham as well. So it would be amazing to, you know, come over. Instead of just sticking to, you know, the one area, to expand, you know, get out there, and because, as I say again, we've got nothing going here, sod all basically, and I'm just chewing the bit. I'd probably use that as well, just to go out there, and I'd love to come down to England and just, you know, there's so many places down there, and I would love to come down and investigate these, you know. I don't mind driving. I'll drive for. Doesn't bother me how far it is. I'll drive for miles and miles, you know. But we can certainly, you know,
we've done quite a few long ones. So
Well, you've done quite a few long ones. I don't have to drive.
9-10 hours non-stop on the road to get there, and that it's all part of the, you know, it's all part of it. You know, we're happy to do it.
I just tend to amuse you, don't I?
Yeah, but we you know, we love it. And as I say, sometimes we sort of like to get to know the history of places and what it's about, and sometimes we just like to go in there blind. So we like to do it two different ways on investigations. Makes it more interesting.
Definitely.
Exactly. Sarah, she does. I like Sarah tell you, because she's hardly said a word since she came on, actually, about the history side. I noticed in the comments that people were saying that she doesn't talk. So, you know,
I like talking, that's how. We like to look at the history of the places. Well, I do. Scott doesn't want to know the history before we go to the places, but I'll genuinely sit for a few days and research the places, and then obviously we'll go do the investigation, and then we'll do a live on the history of it, as well as obviously the paranormal side.
That's good. I mean, sometimes we do that, Sarah, and sometimes we just like to go in blind and just sort of see what we pick up and get. So, just sort of makes it a bit more interesting for us, you know, not always knowing what we're going into. So, but then, as I say, there's a lot of people, you know, that do like to research everything, and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with not researching. You know, each to their own.
We like to do a bit of both.
As long as whatever works for you is good, isn't it? It's brilliant. As I say, everyone sort of works differently, as you sort of saying earlier, Scott, with opinions and stuff. You know, everyone works differently, and that's what makes it interesting.
That's also the beauty of paranormal, is that we're constantly learning.
Oh yes,
and,
definitely.
You know, no two teams do exactly work the same way, do they? Everyone works slightly differently. You know, and that's really good, because then, you know, it makes it more interesting. You learn new tips from different people, you know, and some work, you know, what works for others might not necessarily work for yourselves, or what works for you might not necessarily work for others, but, you know, you get to learn, sort of thing. And
I think you're always learning. You'll always learn, always. You never stop learning.
If you ever get anyone saying that they know every single thing about the paranormal,
no.
Yeah, right, jog on, because it constantly changes. You're constantly learning. There's no way you'll be a complete expert of the paranormal. No one can.
No, I totally agree with you guys. I mean, I've been at paranormal for 25, 30 years, something like that, and I'm still learning. And I mean, people say, you know, people think, as I said to you this season, the phone last week, we've been slated a couple of times because all we do is interviews. But right now, obviously, because of what's going on, it's hard to go to the investigations, you know. And some people look upon investigating as just going to a graveyard, that's it. But to us, investigations about talking to people as well. You know, we've learned, the amount that I've learned from doing interviews is, you know, it's amazing. And I say we've met a lot of good people on panel and chat, just sheerly by doing interviews. And it's, to me, it's a really important sort of tool to have. If you can sit down and interview somebody and get there, you might not agree with it, but, you know, you can take it on board and, you know, kick it about for a wee while and think, well, I never thought of it that way. As you say, June, it's all about learning. We're never, ever going to learn everything about the paranormal, I don't think.
No.
Because it's
impossible to learn every single thing.
Is there any kind of
But
side
then
to the
again,
paranormal?
it's-
Sorry, no.
but then again,
So internet's playing up a little
oh,
bit.
is it? But if you learn every single thing about paranormal, and there's nothing left to learn, then what's the point? It's not just be boring because you know everything, sort of thing.
But I do agree with you. I think it is really nice to do interviews and live chats with people as well. As I say, it's not all about just going out there doing the investigations. This is the other part of it, isn't it? It's chatting as well, and then meeting different teams and stuff. That's what it's all about, and that's the best part of it. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with doing the interviews and the lives and stuff like that. I think they're brilliant.
And another good thing.
It's good to be part of it too. Yeah.
Thank you. The other good thing with us is we've got this planned for next year. We've got a road trip, whatever you want to call it, and we've arranged it through people that we've met just sheerly doing interviews. And it's something that wouldn't have happened if we hadn't met them, and vice versa. But Nicole, I'm just looking for a comment here, guys. Nicole put up a comment about there's glamorized in TV. Sorry, Nicole, I did have it. I had my eye on it, but the chat was moving up, and I was trying to keep an eye on it. I didn't want to sit here going, there it's there.
Yeah.
It has become a bit of that, unfortunately. But it's people like us who just try and keep it true, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. As I said, I sort of get requests every day, 10 requests a day and things like this. More new groups starting up and that. Nothing wrong with new groups starting up. It's brilliant. But I mean, if I could join every single group, I would have thousands on here, and I just wouldn't be able to keep up with it.
And we wouldn't be able to keep up with our own groups.
And we wouldn't even be able to keep up with our own groups. Some people join your group and they send you a request to join theirs, and you sort of feel bad because you haven't. It's just impossible for us to keep up with everything and everyone. But
yeah,
we get a few invites, and you just no disrespect to them, they're all
no,
various. There's just not enough hours in the day. There's no written rules in paranormal. It's a very steep learning curve, but never ends. This is how we use it.
Oh yeah, Steve's definitely got that one. He's got that one on the head, definitely. Yeah,
definitely true, Steve.
Yeah.
It's but so how does it work with your kind of life balance? How do you manage to fit it on? Your home life as well.
Oh, home life and stuff.
How?
Yeah.
You usually tend to sort of wait till I got holiday from work and stuff, and then take sort of 4 or 5 days out of that to go out and try and cram as much as you can in, and then sort of over the next week or 2 weeks in the evenings when you've got the couple of hours and the weekends is when you sort of view back with your evidence and stuff like that. But yeah, we
used to go away quite a lot at the weekends, didn't we?
But that's what I was sort of saying to you earlier on. So we're just two of us. It's very time consuming, especially with everything that you've got on with your home life. But we're so passionate with the paranormal and that we fit it all in. We make it work somehow. Even though we can be up for 24 hours,
Oh, we have done that.
And we have done that. We've actually been up for 48 hours on the go, going through stuff, because that's how passionate we are about it. So,
but I think it also helps as well if you've got support as well.
Exactly.
I mean, when I was younger, like I said, when it started for me, when I was
stand up 5 minutes, my back's playing me up.
When I said about
2 minutes,
it started for me when I was about 13, 14 years old. I never told any of my family because I just didn't feel that I could talk to them and stuff like that. But my brother has been very supportive. He's been constantly asking how the group's doing and how the paranormal investigation's doing. My dad, very surprisingly, was very supportive because he's a complete non-believer.
Right.
And when I told him about me wanting investigation and stuff like that, I said, "Look, I don't believe in that stuff, but if that's what you want to do, then I will support you. You go for it. You go ahead and do it." So I was like, "Okay," sort of. So it kind of helps, like, you know, you kind of have like that support network as well, because there's a lot of people out there, you know, things have happened to them, but they can't talk to anyone about it because they feel that they can't. They feel like they're going to be shunned or laughed at and stuff like that. But yeah,
Aye,
it's how I sort of like
exactly.
deal with it. So, you know,
I mean, when I first started
I've
out,
got a lot of friends who's always been supportive. Say that again.
when I first started out in the paranormal, I started going to spiritualist churches in Glasgow. I'm going back 25 something year, and you know, people say to me, "Oh, wait up to this weekend." I say, "Well, I'm going to spiritualist church in Sucky Hall Street, or Selena, or no Sucky Hall Street," and they would just look at you. You have to say, "You're going where?" So I'm going to spiritualist church, you know, and I went there every Sunday, you know, regular as clockwork. And I was going to say religiously, but that's kind of probably the right word to say. And a lot of people just kind of looked to me back then to say, you know, you know, if you're not, you know, you're in the spiritualist church. So sometimes it does make you kind of pull back a wee bit and not want to commit with the fact that you believe in the paranormal, you're into the paranormal, you believe in life after death and what have you. But it is good, as you say, if you've got that support behind you. That people say, right, I don't agree. I mean, I've got grown-up kids. You know, it's like, you know, other things in life. You say, I don't agree with what you're going to do, but if you need a hand, I'm here. You know, go and do what you want to do, but I'll always be here for you. Selena's asked, you don't have a YouTube channel, is that right? Selena was asking for
no, we don't have one. I mean, we struggle with Facebook, let alone YouTube. We're not very good when it comes to technical stuff.
We're sort of, you know, contemplating, thinking about new year of maybe getting into it and stuff. But again, you know, it's sort of finding the time to sort of be on
and also knowing how to
and knowing how to do it. But I'm sure you can Google it and you know, we'll find out how to do it. But as I say, one thing at a time. You know, we just started to build the groups up and starting to do it. So we're just working on one thing at a time. So, you know, hopefully one day we will go onto YouTube. But as of yet, no, we haven't.
You know, never say never, because we never know. We might, you know, later on down the line be on YouTube. We don't know. So my phone got drunk, is it?
Yeah, it got drunk, you see. Everyone's going to be watching and they're going to be like this, see.
What's going on? It's the phone, not us.
I mean, when we first started it, we never thought we'd be in YouTube, you know, I mean, I never in my life thought I'd been, you know, have a YouTube channel. To me, that was for, I'm not calling myself a pensioner, but that was for young ones, you know, YouTubers and all that kind of stuff. The kind of, no offense, but it's the kind of skateboard generation, if you know what I mean. And I never thought I'd be YouTubing. I'm the same. See, when it comes to technology, you probably noticed the comments. I'm as thick as a wall when it comes to technology. I can turn this thing on here. I can work my phone and the TV remote. And that's where it ends.
Yeah.
You know, that's, I mean, an example, we've got an Xbox one day. Sarah was at her mum's, and I went to turn the Xbox, and it wouldn't go on. And so I changed the batteries and the controller, and it still didn't work. So that was me buggered. I had no other idea what to do. And I had to mail Sarah and say, look, this isn't working. It's new batteries. It's broke. And Sarah told me what to do, and it was fixed. Whereas I was just, I gave up. I would have thought, you know, that's broke. I'm kind of, if the remote doesn't work, change the batteries or rub the batteries. Remember, I used to rub the batteries, heat them up, and put them back in the remote and stuff. Totally thick. But we've been on YouTube for about 4 or 5 months now, and it's step by step. I mean, we're still learning. We're still a new channel, you know, and we're looking forward to next year. And you just take it as it comes. Basically, that's the way I look at it. And I say again, support. We've got, you know, a few bodies in the background that help us out tremendously. Steve being one, Andy, Nicole, Eddie, Missy, Gillian, you know, and you know they deserve a lot of credit. And the technical side of it is mostly Steve. I mean, we had the issues at the weekend with the sound and what have you, and Steve and Eddie spent hours on the phone with us, you know, trying to work it out. I was due just for putting them in the wheelie bin. You know, I was at just bin them, but you know, give the guys a duty set, and without the help, we probably wouldn't have got it fixed. So you do need that kind of support in the background as well as kind of family as well. You know, even though they don't agree with you, supporting you. So, what do you think about all the ghost shows? I always tend to ask this one. So the ghost shows on TV, do you think they kind of damage the paranormal more, or kind of help it?
Well, I think like, you know, a certain TV program, most things that can definitely damage.
Well, I don't know, really. You can't
yeah.
say it. But as I said, you're right.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I mean, I know, you know, a lot of people don't like Ghost Adventures and stuff like that, but for me, Ghost Adventures is the reason I now become a paranormal investigator. They were the reason why I had the inspiration to become one.
I must admit, now every time there is a lot more paranormal shows now on the TV now. I think there's far too many.
Yeah.
It's sort of taking the fun away from it a bit from the TV, because years ago you'd only have a couple.
Yeah.
Absolutely great, really brilliant. I mean, the one that I always used to love, and that was The Haunted Collector. So
he is brilliant.
John Saffis, one of my favourites, and such a shame when that got taken off.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to get him to come on. John Saffis and Dr. Chaos, I've sent emails and what have you to him to try and get him to come on. To come on for an interview. Yeah, all you can do is ask. You know, I've sent emails and what have you. I've sent them away.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how we get Patty and what have you as well. I just asked them. At the end of the day, I think, you know, I mean, a lot of these people are normal people.
Yeah.
Then,
Exactly.
they're human beings. We've got a film director coming on next Tuesday, and also an actor as well. Two of them are coming on. And we've got other guests planned for December next year. And as people I'd ever imagined I would get. But, you know, I was up at 4 o'clock this morning, Cyril Tingett, mailing one of them, and he's in Sacramento, and he's coming on next week. So it's
wow.
It's amazing who you can, if you just reach out to people, then they will kind of respond. But a lot of these ghosts, as you say, Sean, back then there was a handful of them, maybe half a dozen, you know, ghost shows about. But if you go into like say Prime, there's tons of them, you know.
Yeah.
And this is just my opinion, but they all follow the same format. You know, it's the same kind of routine. What do you think of that?
Yeah, they do.
They do, yeah.
They're not as good as they used to be.
They're certainly nowhere near as good as they used to be. You know, it has changed. But then you see people, a lot of them have turned around and said, well, the producers, they sort of tell them what they want them to do, what, you know, and things like that. So not everything's always 100% correct. No, shall we say?
But you messaged Saffos as well, didn't you?
I've messaged John Saffos. I mean, he has replied to a couple of comments on that, but I have messaged him. As I say, I sort of haven't had anything back. But as I say, maybe, you know, he gets millions a day. You don't know, Scott. Yeah. You know, because as I say, he's a very interesting person.
Exactly. He probably does because he probably does get dozens upon dozens every day. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, pop off an email. There's always that chance that, you know, he might sound stupid. He might be sitting on his computer and your email just might hit his screen when he's looking at it. Oh, what's that? And you know, you could get noticed. As I say, some of the guests, you know, we had Knock Ghost on there, a Canadian TV show we did on about 2 months ago or something, Sarah.
Yeah.
And they're coming back on 2 weeks' time, I think they're coming back on. You know,
Oh, excellent.
and it's just sure asking. That's at the end of the day. As Selena says, you don't ask, you don't. To say Selena's from Glasgow, she's the same as me. You don't ask, you don't get. It's called brass necking
Yeah.
it, and you just need to go and do it.
Exactly.
But do you not think? What would you see these ghost shows that they'll start right away and they'll get something right away? What do you think of them?
I mean, you know, the amount that we've been on, we don't get things straight away. You don't always get, you know, that. But I don't know.
I don't. It could be possible that that you could go something straight away, get something, but as I say, I reckon about 85% of the time it doesn't happen.
No.
It doesn't happen.
Especially not straight away.
As I said before, you could do the same place every day for a month and have nothing, and you could go back that next time and you could get loads.
Mm.
You know, every investigation on if you're doing the same place, every investigation you did, it will be different. You're never going to get it's never going to be the same.
Exactly, but
Yeah,
I mean, we've been in Greyfriars quite a few times, and everybody's well, you know the reputation Greyfriars has got, you know, the most haunted place, graveyard in the world, and we've been maybe investigating Sarah about maybe 5 or 6 times, maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
And we've had, and you'd expect a place like that to get loads, you know, noises, whatever, but we've had very, very little. Fair. And as you say, Sean, it's just here. I cannot refer to it as fishing. It's like going fishing. You know, you throw your hook in the water and you hope you get something. And it's the same way investigating. So, what's your, have you got any kind of ideal place that you'd like to investigate? If somebody's to give you a plane ticket tomorrow and say, right, you know, choose where you want to go, where would you? I'm always curious to what people say.
It's definitely
the Hellfire's Club,
Ireland. The caves or the club. No, I definitely want to do Bobby Mackey's Music World. I'd love to do that place.
Oh, I Bob Mackey's. A ghost adventure. There's a lot of people down there. What about you,
Yes.
June? Where would you the same?
I'd quite like to do the Hellfire Club in Ireland.
Oh, the Hellfire Ghost. I think we've done there as well. There's Steve asking you.
Bench incident area.
Yeah, I'll have a look through all of that, Steve, and I'll get that over to Scott at some point. Yeah, not a problem.
Wow.
I think there's,
yeah. I would love to do Bobby Mackey's as well. But yeah.
I'll say at the moment it's just like a question of keep doing that lottery ticket, Scott, you know, and then, you know,
renew our passports.
Renew the passports, and then that's it. We'll be on our way. See, not a problem.
I know, but I've no doubt I remember when the lottery first started, and I bought a lottery ticket, and I think I was the same mindset as everybody. I was the mindset that I was going to win it. You know, you buy the first ever lottery ticket, I'm going to win it, and I think I lasted about 2 or 3 weeks, and then I gave up. You know.
Yeah. I think the last time I won, I had my ticket on there was December 2 years ago, and that was £30. Ever since then, I keep winning a free ticket. I've had nothing since they put more numbers into it, and this and that is virtually impossible. And I keep saying to myself, why am I wasting my money? But then the way I look at it, you got to be in it to win it, because it'd be that one time I didn't do it, and they'd all come up, wouldn't they? So
also you live in hope.
And you live in hope. It's nice to go to bed that night and have a dream the night before.
I'll tell you a quick story. A girl I used to know in Glasgow a few years back, she'd done the lottery and she got all 6 numbers and she was phoning everybody that she'd won the 6 numbers, and then she realised that she'd filled in the ticket bit, you know, 3 dots, but she hadn't
Yeah.
put the numbers on. She'd filled in the card,
no.
but for some
Oh,
crazy reason, she filled the thing in the shop and then left the shop without putting the ticket on. But when the numbers came up, she was absolutely buzzing. She thought she'd won like 10, 15 million and what have you. And then the penny dropped to that. And
Gutted.
it sounds bad. It was kind of a wee bit on the funny side, you know, a wee bit sick, I know, but it felt a hat sorry for the lass. You know, a couple of weeks later, she was laughing and joking about it, you know, but no, we don't buy lottery tickets or anything. We don't bother with them. I've never been much of a gambler.
I don't go mad. I only ever get one at a time. I don't go out and get 20, 30, 40 at a time. I always just get one.
We have 1 or 2 times from scratch cards, though.
Yeah. Nothing major, though. Enough for a takeaway that night. That's about it, really. So nothing to get excited about, to be honest.
As long as you get enough for a Chinese or a McDonald's, that's all that matters. No, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, I think the other week I did Euro Millions. This happened twice on the trot, and the ticket's £2.50, and I won twice in a row. £2.20. Well, how could I have won? I'm already 30p minus. The ticket cost me £2.50 and I win £2.30. That doesn't make sense to me.
You got the £2.30 part back.
Yeah, but it cost me £2.50 to get £2.30 back. You know, it's like.
Yeah, you got £2 back.
I didn't know that. I used to work beside a guy years ago, and he was addicted to puggy machines. And I always remember one day after work, we went to the pub, Glasgow, and he started playing the puggy, and they would pump coin after coin after coin into this thing, and he won about £6 one day, and he was over the moon. They'd won six, and I said, "But how much did you spend?" He pumped about £30 into this machine, and he was over the moon because he won 6. I thought, how does that even make sense? I said, you just lost £24. Do you know what I mean? It's just absolutely insane. Do you know what I mean? But I think with cancers, we're going to kind of wind it up just now, guys. Before we go, if you, Sean, you can just hang on the panel, that'd be great. Before we go, guys, we just want to say that today we reached our 200 sub mark. I just noticed it pinged up my phone. We reached our 200 sub mark, so I want to say a big thank you to Andy, Steve, Nicole, Eddie, Missy, Gillian. Everybody comes into the chat every week and gives us that wee thumbs up and what have you, and to all our guests that have come on, since we started. It's been really, we've only been going 6 months. So I just want to say a big thank you to every single one of you. But we'll be back on, what day is this? Wednesday?
Friday.
No, this is Wednesday.
I will be back.
Sorry, folks, we'll be back on Friday with some, we're calling it Not Got a Clue. Sean and June, if you're free, you're welcome to come along as well. I'm calling it Not Got a Clue. Quite simply because we don't have a clue what we're going to be talking about.
Excellent. Just how we like it, Scott.
So we'll get a night talking about everything and anything, and I might chuck in a wee game of bingo since she's all love to play bingo.
Plain and simple, we don't have a clue. So just, if you're free, come along and we can talk crap for an hour or two, whatever you want to do, guys. We are to use. If you can't make it Friday, we have on Saturday night international medium Charlotte Underwood. She's coming in on Saturday night at 9 o'clock to see us, so that should be good. But if you two could just stay on the panels for a wee minute or two, guys, that'd be great. So we'll see you on Friday for Not Got a Clue, basically. And thanks again, everybody, for all your support and for coming along to see us tonight. And stay safe until we talk to you soon. So thanks a lot, guys. Cheers. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.